I'm gonna do the Doctor Stone because after Doctor Stone, I'll be done. I'll be done. I'll be done. But I don't know. I don't know if that's what you guys want to see or not. So let's start right away with Doctor Stone. I'll tell you why. This is gonna be a bit of a longer one because it's an intro. We're gonna do chapter 1 to 12, right? But still, so we're at let's say 10. You know what? Okay, let's do 210 to so with Doctor Stone, there's a lot going on with Doctor Stone. The reason why we started Doctor Stone is because I just felt like Jujutsu Kaisen was going too fast. Jujutsu Kaisen, it feels like I want to binge watch it. And the craziest thing is, this is the first show that I binge watch and I cover. So it's a lot harder to cover it when you binge watch, right? It's like, okay, well, it's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of action. I want something that's kind of different, right? And then most anime that I like are super into fighting, right? And kind of crazy because all we're doing is um we're doing fighting, we're doing fighting, we're doing fighting, we're doing fighting. So I have a couple of anime or manga that I can do that are not fighting. So we have what do we have? We have Food Wars, we have Dr. Stone. So I wanted to get there. Also, Dr. Stone does have some fighting, but it's just not about that. So for example, if I was to do Bleach and Jujutsu Kaisen, it would be too much action, right? And I know there's never too much action, but when you recap, it's a bit harder, right? So with Doctor Stone, I thought it was like a nice change of pace. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Doctor Stone until I feel like I don't want to do Doctor Stone. We'll come back to Jujutsu Kaisen and we'll finish with Doctor Stone. The next one we'll take something that is a bit more. One Piece is actually also good because there is some fighting, but there's a lot of world building also. So the speed or the world building or the lore of it is a bit better. So Doctor Stone, I want to get back into it. Doctor Stone is actually super funny. I don't remember how I got to Doctor Stone, and this is kind of crazy because what happened was when I came to the apartment, like I said, I didn't have cable, I didn't have Wi-Fi. My dude, myself was broke. And it's just like, fuck that dude. What am I gonna do? So I started reading comics and comics and comics, and I think I started reading Doctor Stone. I was like, okay, well, this is actually pretty good. Doctor Stone is one of those anime that I fucking love. First of all, the world building is amazing. The first plot is amazing. The whole thing is kind of endearing because we never see that. We see, for example, Fullmetal Alchemist, which is about alchemy and about science, but we never really see that. Like food were also. That wants to be a cook. So with Dr. Stone, it was something different. It's funny. I love the drawing. The art style is amazing. It's kind of funny, and again, it's a guy that's willing to try back civilization. There's a lot of it that it feels like a post-apocalypse. There's a lot of it that feels like okay, well, we need to find gather resources. There's some of it that feels a little bit like I don't know, like Walking Dead in the sense of okay, society is fallen. What do we do, right? Also, the what you call it, the the problem we have, for example, okay, well, we have a chance to create our own society, right? The society we had before was corrupted. The society we had before wasn't good. So what do we do? Do we recreate the same or we don't recreate the same? We do it differently, right? And it's a chance. It's a chance to do something nice. So there's a villain that's like, okay, well, this was corrupted. I was a victim of the corruption. I was a victim of abuse or mistreatment because, again, I was broke. I have a chance to be the fucking king of a world where everybody's equal, right? And we live with nature. And then with Senku's like, no. The world was the way it was before, and everybody sacrificed themselves. See, Senku being a scientist is like, okay, well, we made so many progress here, and yes, the world's not good, but we're making progress. And ultimately speaking, you live in utopia, where because of progress, because of science progress, the world will be better, right? And he wants to do that. And at the same time, it's like, okay, well, listen, it doesn't matter who they were before the petrification. It matters who they are, right? And if they can redeem themselves, they can redeem themselves. If they cannot redeem themselves, well, fuck it, right? So, all right, there you go. Now, here's the good part about Doctor Stone. Here's the bad part. In Doctor Stone, I got kind of far. So we got to the part where we understand why they're petrified. So this is something, and there's a lot of good shit. There's a lot of good shit, but it's mostly about how can I put this? It's mostly about I don't know. I don't know. It feels like this Doctor Stone is a great manga. It's a great anime, but it does feel like you can't really read it multiple times because it's there's a lot of plot twists, right? For example, in 12 chapters, there's one plot twist. It's a short manga, so again, the pacing is much better than Jujutsu Kaisen. JJC Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen. We're a bit tired. You have to forgive me. And what else? That's pretty much it. Ink, I need $10, bro. Oh, dude. Callum. Callum, 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 Callum. Ugh. Callum's a nice guy, right? Callum's a nice guy, but I think Callum needs to chill because every time he comes here, he asks for cash. And dude, you know how I live. Do you know what I have in my bank account? I'm broke, dude. I'm broke, dude. I'm as broke as you are. But I don't ask for cash. I don't beg for money. And again, the problem with Callum is he asked once, give him shit. He asked twice, I gave him shit. This is the fourth or the fifth time he asked. So, Callum, it was a pleasure, but hey, have a nice life, my guy. And there's nothing wrong with asking for money. There's nothing wrong with needing money. Yeah, I saw this before, and I was like, oh my god, this guy, this guy. I don't know fucking know you. We're not friends. I don't know you. I don't know you. And then the problem that he did is like, I really need $20. And he came in and was like, oh dude, I really need money. That's why I was a bit unfocused. So I saw this and I was like, ugh, you know. And it's kind of funny because the guy comes in and it's like, I really need $20. And I'm like, okay, what you need for what? And I wanted to give it to him because I felt bad, you know. I was Cherish. It was around the Christmas time, so I was like, okay, well maybe he needs it, right? And then he says, oh, I need it for Uber. Are you fucking dumb? I don't even know the person. Like, when you look at it, right? And again, I'm complaining with the belly full, right? I'm complaining we just had a nice meal. We just did everything we wanted. And this person that possibly has issues. This person possibly is told yes often. Like he needs help and people like, okay, yeah, please. Let me help you, right? So it's tough. It's tough because you're in a position where you do want to help the guy, but he has to help himself. And it's people like that are always asking. I had a girl. I was friend with her for a long ass time, and she asked for money, and I lent her money, and she started asking almost every time. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Ga boom. That's what the likes, bro. You're a gem. Love you. So yeah, so with people like that, I mean, I think it's a culture also. You see on TikTok a lot of people begging and begging and begging and begging. Just the fact that he's so comfortable with asking me, a stranger, for cash. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And it's not like I told him yes. Okay, you know what? You said yes last time. Why are you saying no today? I never said yes, right? Yeah. Also, I was talking about we're still doing Dr. Stone. I'm sorry, I'm just taking a it's I'm in a position right now where it's a bit tougher. So I have this friend who was needing 5 more follows for reaching a goal of followers, right? And I have 5 accounts. So I have this account, I have another one, I have my second account, I got a second account. So this is it. This one, gaming, second account, which is normal in gaming. We have a fifth account, which is to watch tape. Because when you go into a live, for example, people will say to me, "Hey, Ink, how are you?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm just, I don't have time." And with this person, they're celebrating 3,000 followers, and it's a big deal for them, and I'm proud of them. But at the same time, dude, you were at 2,995, which is still very close, but you never really got to 3,000. I did it for you, So the guy is kind of celebrating, and I'm happy for the guy because he deserves it, right? And he's a good person, but you're celebrating a person helping you. You're celebrating somebody making you cheat. For example, it's not organic. There's this guy who follows you with 7 accounts, So it's a bit tougher. But I don't know how I feel about it. You should see people celebrate. See that asking for money kind of fucked me up. Kind of fucked me up. And again, it's the way you ask. Like, dude, don't say hi. Don't say how are you. Like, hey, I need money now. He did not say now, but fuck. And it's just dumb. So yeah, so let's continue with freaking Dr. Stone. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, I forgot my mouse because we are watching it and in the bath. Yes, I do bath and I read, and I don't want the mouse to fall in the water. So let's go. On holiday. Oh. Good. Damn, baby. That's when I clean the apartment, so. So I kind of got not super busy, but so a little bit, right? There you go. Nice. Let's go. Tree. Nice. And yeah, we read 11 accounts. 11 accounts. We read 11 chapters. Nice. Good. Yep. So now, is it working? Wait a second. I need to do shield. I need to do shield. Okay. Shield. Nice. Perfect. Okay, let's go. So we're gonna start with chapter 1, of course. It should be pretty simple because there's something. Dr. Stone, I started it. There you go. I started like 4 times. Never finished it. So I'm pretty far though. I'm at the majority of it. Sorry, the computer is restarting. I would love to get a new computer, but sadly, I can't afford it. Okay, so chapter 1 of Dr. Stone World, and the beauty of Dr. Stone, and I don't want to be an asshole, I don't want to be negative, but I do feel like a lot of anime are somewhat similar. They're somewhat influenced by each other. Dr. Stone is in his very own universe, which I do like. So we have the beginning of the show. So let's start with the beginning. I am surprised by how little chapter there is. How many chapter there is, just out of curiosity? Just out of curiosity. And no, don't fucking tell me the spoiler. There's 225, so it's shorter than Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu is 2007 no. 270. Sorry. So we have Taiju. This is super cool because in the very beginning you're seeing the 2 main characters. Now it's kind of complex because you could argue that there's 4 main characters, which is Senku, Taiju, Tsukasa, and the lady. My apologies. But we know that this is the second one, the 2 of them. So we have the mission of both. We see Senju as a chemist, a scientist, but also kind of like a my apologies. Also, my apologies. Somewhat of a genius, right? So he tells his friend tells him, like, dude, I'm gonna tell her that I love her today. And Senku's like, yo, I can guarantee you, I can give you a love potion. And it's not love potion. So the reason he said that is because want to push the other guy to just do what he does. Senku is this weird character that is super smart, but not very street smart. So you never know what he's really thinking, right? But Taiju is in love, and we're gonna go see go see Yuzu Riha, and Yuzu Riha is in my opinion, the fourth main character because she's a girlfriend, right? So then they go to tell the love story. It's super cool because you see her, and the introduction for her is amazing because she's supposed to represent this very, very gorgeous girl, right? And they go to tell him, but then the light happened. So the light happened. The light is a green light that swallowed the world, and the whole world turned to stone. Right now we know why, but it's so far away, right? So we're seeing, and this is a beautiful part because we're seeing what he turned to stone, but you see them having some cognitive function. So you hear their thoughts, you hear like, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? What am I supposed to do? And this is super cool because it does show that some people are still conscious, right? The two other that we focus on is Taiju and Senku. Taiju was telling him like, "Yo, I'll be fucking, I'll be getting out of here," and Senku will be getting out of here. Now, the reason why they're gonna get out is because brain function is also very important. Because I believe, from what I understand, the simple way to put it is because your brain is working, your cell is still working. Sync, sync, baby. Right. So this is kind of cool. So then we go back to the past, right? And we see the statue. And the statues are special because they see the same thing, right? So we start seeing bird statue in the wind, which is kind of cool because they got the same thing. Taiju goes to the veterinarian to show, and then we see that his girlfriend Yuziara also went. So again, what it does push is it does push forward that these two belongs together. Now, the whole plot of these two belongs together is very important because these two belonging together is just to push forward the idea that, hey, bro, our main characters isn't a romantic type, and he will never be the romantic type. So the fact that these two are together, it's gonna good. I'm making sure that everything is uploading because this morning we did upload Overboard, and because we uploaded Overboard, took a long time. So with this, establishing a love story between two characters doesn't mean that our main character has a love story, but it's still there, right? Now we see the consequences, which is the water running around. And the crazy thing here is we see Taiju thinking. We don't really see Senku thinking. And what's important here is that it shows that he's also main characters. We see the world being destroyed, and I think it's supposed to represent the passing of time, right? But not really. So then we see Taiju getting back up. He's like, "Hey, I'm finally free. I'm finally good. This is what's going on." He finds the strongest primate, which is super important because we're establishing the characters. So, for example, right on this place. So this is a special part, right? So they found a way to get to the statue to get cured, but who is around is gonna be important because they're gonna be the first to get cured. So when he mentioned seeing the guy who's the strongest primate high schooler, which is the bad guy of the story, it's super important because we present like, okay, well, this guy is around. If he were to save someone, he would be one of the first to save, right? And again, this is extremely important because you're showcasing the ability to save a couple people, but it's the how can I put this? You're showcasing the ability to save people, but you don't showcase you can save a lot of people. You can save possibly one or two people a month. So you really have to choose the right people, right? Because again, Senku goal, and Senku here is in character because he's in charge, he's the leader. But Senku goal is to revive civilization. So even if you were to revive one or two people a month, it would give you 12 to 24 per year. And Senku, I don't know how old he is, but he doesn't have more than 50 years left, right? So with 50 years times 12 or times 24, you're nowhere near a total recovery of humankind. Now, what you have to do also is you have to understand that if you revive people that are worth it, then it's helpful. For example, Tenju being rebirthed, Senku being the brain of the mission, Taiju becomes the the one who does all the work around. Because he does all the work around, it does speed up the process of civilization, speed up the process of curing people, right? So there you go. So we had the girlfriend of Taiju was there. She's safe. Thank God, because we saw a lot of people. There was a lot of people that got break down by the water moving and by time. So the fact that she's intact is pretty freaking good, right? And next to the statue, there's this message which is, down the river, you big great oaf, which is what Senju told him. So we see this is the first chapter. So we're seeing that the first chapters, Senju does call Taiju a big oaf. So we know that by him saying that, we know that it's Senku. Senku is there. He's been building the house. He's been up for 6 months now. Again, it's not explicitly said, but the reason why these two are there is because of the nitrate close by, and because they were the two most active brain around. So because they were the two most active brain, they were the one that we had to kind of watch, right? Well, there you go. What the date is? So Senku tells them what he's been thinking about, and this is kind of crazy, right? Because you saw what Taiju was thinking about, and then you see what Senku was thinking about. And Taiju feels bad because Senku did all the work. He did a full house in 6 months, and he's like, okay, well, this is kind of crazy, right? Um, but then Senku, and this is a really nice moment. Senku really does feel like a leader, and it's kind of weird because you don't expect Senku to be the leader that he is, but he is a really good leader. So, for example, here he says, "Listen, I guess I did all of this, but I was ready for you to come up. I knew that if somebody was gonna come up, it was gonna be you. You're so convinced, you're so persistent, and telling her that you love her that there was no way that stone could stop you. So you believe in him, right? So yeah, so saying Taiju is there, which is super freaking nice. You got the deal with it too. When we need to use our head, I'll leave all the thinking to you, and when we need to use our body, you leave that to me. So again, and this is the beauty of Taiju. Taiju doesn't call himself stupid. He just understands that the better chance of survival is for Tenku to be in charge. And he's like, okay, well, I have my strength. You need me. And it's not a need me like, hey, we're on equal footing. It's like, dude, I'll be valuable. Don't worry about it. So I did really like that. However, Senku with the potential they have, and also it's not precise often in the story, but Senku and Taiju have been friends for a really long time and really good friends, so they know each other pretty well, right? So then it's super cool. So they want to rebuild civilization, and Senku is like, dude, I'm fucking proud of you. I'm fucking proud of you because, and the first chapters is really the end is amazing because they're both super motivated to bring back the world. They're super motivated for what the story has in store for us, and it's in a way which is weird because you know that's gonna be a hard thing to do. It's gonna be a really hard thing to bring back everybody because again they're two people and there's a whole world to save. So it is bad, but at the same time, Senku could have had better worse, and if Taiju would have woken up without Senku, I don't know what he would have done, right? So then we have the two together. So they're talking about food, right? We talk about they're talking about the mushrooms, and this is super cool because Senku is doing pretty well. He's telling him what mushroom he can eat, what mushroom you can't eat, and this is kind of cool because he's like, okay, well, he tells name. For example, he says, Amanita muscaria, fly agaric poison, right? Ipsigus, Cecilus brown, clamshell food, right? He tells a lot of these freaking mushrooms are poison, and he said you can tell by how they look, right? So then he tells that it's salt, and this is kind of important because it does show how Seiko survive, first of all, but also they're going to be surviving because yes, it is a problem, right? Now, ultimately speaking, the third member of this crew is going to be a hunter. He's not going to be there for a long time, so this is important. Now, Taiju discover a grape, and the grape is going to be important because of the first thing, which is having this very specific production, which is like nitric acid, which is going to be the way to do it, and the wine to be the way to go. And that takes to Taiju. And there's going to be a really nice moment, right? Which is the reason as to why. So then we're following a cave, and there is this magical water, right? And it's like, Taiju's like, how do you know that this is a special water? It's like, okay, well, see the components, right? And yes, we're born because we were thinking a lot, but there's a reason why both of us got reborn. There's a reason why both of us are here today. Now, ultimately, later on, and this is what I don't like about Dr. Stone, there's gonna be a second group, a person which like Senku, which is a scientist, and another guy who is like Taiju, which is the arms, right? So this is kind of cool. So then he says he has nitric acid, which is a mixture between the dropping in the bath and the water, right? And he says he puts it on the bird, which is the test, right? So he said, if I put it on someone, I can kill him. But if I put it on a bird, I'm gonna kill birds. Who gives a shit? Not who gives a shit. It's like, okay, well, it's not as bad. So then he's talking about how he possibly needs some alcohol, and if he could get some alcohol, there would be a cleaning. Now with disinfectant, a lot of people use alcohol, right? By combining nitric acid and ethanol, you can make nitol, right? And then Taiju is like, dude, I have some grape. We can make some wine. This is super cool because they're making some wine and talk about how simple it is. This is the very first time that they do this in the show, but it's so amazing. And it's Senko giving classes, and he tells you how to make wine. But he also tells you a bunch of information that are semi-important or not important at all, but it's kind of cool, right? And then he does the wine, and he wants to make some brandy because brandy is better. So then they make pots, and it's kind of crazy because they make pots to do distillation. Now, this is also a really powerful narrative tool because the next scene is them working in summer, then making them work in winter. Taiju now has a beard. So this is to show the passing of time, right? And it's super fucking cool. And then finally they get it, and they succeed into making the perfect recipe where they get to save something. Now, because the idea of because and this is really good. This is really really good because it's so powerful, but it's such a good way of Senku to being the leader that he is. He said, you know what, Taiju? The ID for the wine is your ID. You get to choose who it is. And of course, you're going to save his wife. It's not his wife, but still. Yeah. I love this. And already, number 3. You see, this is the thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't dislike Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's just going so fast. And with Dr. Stone, it's going to go a lot smoother, I believe. Now, ultimately speaking, I am afraid of it because there's only so many shows like Stone, Dr. Stone. Only so many shows that I can use as a break from too much manga. This is gonna be the secret here because yesterday we did a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen. We did a lot of it. We did 25 chapters yesterday. We didn't have any voice left. So chapter 4, right? So we rebirth her, and this is great storytelling. So they are to be rebirthing her, but then she's naked. So Taiju's like, no, there's no way. And because they have to be back, then they take their time. And because they have to be back, there's Lion. So they run away. And it's kind of cool because it's kind of nice because, yes, they've been working hard. And ultimately speaking, this is perfect. This is fucking perfect. Because the first one, which is Senku, I'm going to burp. The first one with Senku is not a physical fighter. He's not physical at all. And then the second one, which is Saigu, which is more physical and more able to fight, but he doesn't want to fight, right? So you have a predator, which is a lion, and they don't know what to do. And this is kind of crazy because it's really powerful because it shows them how weak they are. So you see all of the progress they're making. They have the houses, they have some weapon, even though it's fear, so it's not super good, right? And they're doing pretty well, but all in all, they're still one step away from dying. And if they're dying, all of mankind will die with them. Now, technically speaking, that is not true. Technically speaking, that is, for example, right? If Senku and Taiju are able to be reborn, even if they were stones, you could argue that somebody else, even if it's stone, could be rebirth, right? 25 hidden job tip. 25 tasks done naked. Share your thought. The fuck? Um, and it's kind of cool because you see that there's somebody else. However, this is where Dr. Stone takes place and is that important. The show is not about Stone. It's about the Doctor of Stone, and the Doctor of Stone is Senku. So Senku might be the biggest chance for mankind to be reborn, and that's a problem. We saw just how little people are left because of the water and the everything else, and it's kind of crazy because you're like, holy shit, dude, that's a big difference, right? So now we have a problem. Taiju is like, dude, I have an idea, right? There's this guy that could help us. And Senku is right away. And this is why Senku is fucking smart, because Senku is like, dude, I don't know if this is a good idea. So this is kind of important in three ways, right? The first way where it's important is like, you don't know. You don't know that guy's a good guy. And second way, so you don't know if you want to use it. So for example, Taiju is a good dude. So Senku doesn't mind. Sorry, Taiju's girlfriend is a good person. You don't mind. This guy is trading a predator for another predator, and then Senku also realized just how weak they are. If this guy is a danger, there's no way to defend yourself, right? So it's also something that could stop, right? So we got Tsukasa, who is the strongest fighter. He wakes up, he tells him what the situation is, and Sanju is like, dude, there's a lion here, here, and here, and here, and this is super cool because he kills them with one shot with bare hand. Now, what I really like about the very first Tsukasa, what it is, that he's really grateful. He really feel like he owes Senku something. So he's really loyal. It's like, dude, you did not have, and this is what I love about Tsukasa, because he is very pragmatic. He's very himself. It's like, you didn't need to wake me up. You didn't need to help me. Um, you didn't need to be the one that saved me, right? And then he's like, dude, guess what? You have to do what you have to do, and that's kind of important because, how can I put this? It's kind of important because it does show like, dude, this is a pecking order, and this guy, although he's the strongest, he's still not the boss here. Now, ultimately speaking, Tsukasa will be shown as a murderer, and this is kind of crazy, right? And Senju right away, and this is the cool thing. Taiju is like, this guy is fucking awesome, and then Senju's like, I don't know, guy. I don't know. This guy is dangerous. This guy could be the death of us. And Senju is not clear. This is also a difference in characters. Taiju is more trusting. Taiju is more like, hey, we need everybody we can get. And this is also super cool because, and again, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but what does the girlfriend of Taiju brings? She doesn't bring a lot. Tsukasa, however, he brings a lot of knowledge on how to hunt. He brings a lot of knowledge on how to defend yourself. So then talk about how he's the three musketeer. They're the brain, the muscle, and the fighting. So this is kind of cool. So we have chapter 2, chapter 4. Tsukasa right away, you seem like a really good guy because it's like, dude, I want to get the meat from it. And then Senku's like, yeah, you shouldn't get the meat from that. This is disgusting meat. It's not great. But then he's like, no. I know where we killed the beast, and we should honor it. And this is, ultimately speaking, this is such a powerful statement from Tsukasa, because you realize that Tsukasa does love nature, and he believed that he wanted to defend himself, but still he respected the animals in front of him, and he respected the fact that they had sacrificed themselves to be able to sort of survive, right? So that was kind of cool. So we have Tsukasa, who's there with a knife. This is crazy because it does show just how much they evolve, right? So he presents himself, and he has this very simple mentality. See, Tsukasa's biggest problem isn't his mentality, isn't the fact that he wants to create a world where there's no corruption. His biggest problem is that he is, how can I put this? He is very self-confident. He, as much as he thinks that he owes Senku, he knows that this world is he can be the king of the world because he believes that he deserves to be the king of the world. Big bottle. And it's kind of sad because Tsukasa would have been a nice addition to the trio. But then Senku right away, he's like, dude, this guy I can't trust him. So then they're talking about this is super, 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 super cool because we're talking about what they can bring, right? So now Tsukasa being there, there's food, right? And then he's basically like, dude, we don't have to worry about food. With Senju's way of preserving food, and I can get us as much food as possible, we'll never have to worry about food again, right? So then Senju, which is very cool, Senju's like, okay, well, we got food. What's the next step, right? And the next step is what? The next step is to get some calcium carbohydrate. So it's breaking down shells. Now, ultimately speaking, he wants to get shell to create gunpowder in case Tsukasa is there. But there's couple more use for it, right? And it's kind of cool because you see Taiju, which is also important. So he wants to use it for feeding the plants to create concrete and to be able to use soap. And it's kind of crazy, right? In this world, and they actually talk about it. Use number three, stone. Fuck's sakes. In this world, sickness, game over. And this tiny little lump here, which can purify and kill germ, will be our stone of life in place of a doctor, Doctor Stone. They do talk about it. And this is kind of crazy because all of it, this is what's very important in my opinion, which is such a good manga. So what he's talking about is all of the usage that he is to, and I hate talking about this, but this is like the zombies. So you have needs, right? Feeding yourself is first, finding a safe place is second. Talking about making the place more comfortable. Like he talked about growing crops, talk about making houses, right? Talk about taking care of themselves. And it's kind of cool. And this is what Tsukasa is like, dude, you're fucking incredible, bro. You're fucking incredible because if somebody can save us, it's you. And this is amazing because Tsukasa goes from a guy that believes that he is gonna be surviving. And this is the crazy part. Tsukasa is here. It's like, you know what, bro? I'm alive. I don't think we can save mankind, but I'm alive. And because I'm alive, I can do whatever I need to do or whatever I want to do. And then you see Senju being an absolute Chad, and it's like, okay, well, if somebody can save us, Senju can save us. And then he starts to believe in a future with Senju. And this is the important part because his mentality starts changing, right? Now, ultimately speaking, he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how there is. Give me a sec. I'm not seeing people live. What the fuck? I'm not seeing people live. This is so weird. I want to check on this one. Choke me like you hate me because I want to see the battle tonight. Today we're early, so I don't have to worry about much. Like you hate me, but you love me. Low key wanna date me, but you fuck me. Touch me with my shades on. I should wait on. Baby, I'm not the right one, you should get on. Ain't no that issue, then I won't even bother. She said I kill her cat like I'm Luke Magnotta. A real bad bitch. Oh, she's a freak, she's a bad hoe. Choke me like you hate me, but you love me. Low key wanna date me when you fuck me. Touch me with my shades on. You should late on. Maybe I'm not the right one. You should get on. Yeah, so Tsukasa finally realized the power of Senku, but also he realized that Senku isn't this great guy. Senku just figured out shit, and this is where he starts to believe that, okay, well, if I had what Senku has, we got what it takes. And there, this is amazing. So he tells Senku, like, dude, you're fucking amazing. Like, you're super useful. And then Senku's like, dude, because that I don't trust you. Something is weird with how you talk to me. So he talks about the four use of the shell, and then he switched to tree because the fourth one is gunpowder. Now, ultimately speaking, gunpowder is the most important. Why? Because we're talking about growing plants, which is one. We're talking about soap, which is two. We're talking about making a house, which is three. They're all about living. None of it is offensive. The gunpowder is offensive, which is kind of great, right? So then, Suicide tells this story how he was poor, and because of this, he couldn't do much. His sister was sick, and he wanted to do something for her, but it was a man who owned the land that he was pillaging, and the man didn't want him to be okay. And then this is crazy because of it. And he beat him to a pulp, and he could never give his sister a dream. So then he is like, dude, fuck this world, fuck the last world, right? Tsukasa in front of Senku he destroys a stone, right? And it's like, dude, Senku's like, dude, you just murdered someone. It's like, yeah, I know I murdered someone, right? And he's like, are you gonna be saving everyone? And then he tells about his plan. But the craziest thing that Tsukasa does, is when he talks about his plan, it's not like fuck you, Senku. He tells Senku to convince him. He's like, dude, we could create this world that's amazing, right? And he wants to revive only the pure young, right? And this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. And this is ideal. And I want you guys to see this, okay? I want you guys to see this. There's two panel, which is Senku ideal and Tsukasa ideal. And again, the art style, fucking phenomenal. So Senku was like, no, dude. And Senku, the way he's talking is amazing. He's like, dude, I don't really care about people. I don't really care about people. I care about science. And I want to be using science to fix it. See, Senku craziest feat is that I think he wants to save the world. I really think that he wants to save the world. However, I think that it's more of a challenge. He's like, dude, imagine if I could save the world thanks to science. How cool would that be? Right? So yeah. He is gonna be a serious issue. So then Senku's like, okay, well, Tsukasa is crazy, and I cannot trust him. However, he doesn't know how to fix people. He doesn't fix, I don't know how to fix people, and he doesn't know how. I still have the upper hand. However, Taiju comes in and tells Senku like, hey, the cave filled up another bottle, and because the cave filled up another bottle, we can save my girlfriend. So then Tsukasa learned that the cave is there, and there is really good. That's what I love. The art style here. Fucking cool. By the way, I have to be careful with Dr. Stone because that's copyrighted for Dr. Stone. I was watching the show, and they copyrighted me. Do I care? Not really. Because they copyright me for using the audio on Dr. Stone, and all you need to do is you just need to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to be using this audio, I'm not going to be using this audio, I'm not going to be using this audio. So now, we're ready for the next chapters. What I'm going to do, we've been doing this for 30 minutes, for 40 minutes, 43 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a small break. We're going to be cleaning the house a little bit. I'm going to be doing the shopping. And then when I'm going to come back, we're going to continue. We are at chapter 5 out of 11, so about half. Okay, so let's finish this chapter first, because that way we'll be done with half. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so Tsukasa, this is super nice, right? Tsukasa only needs Senju, and then Senju realized that Tsukasa only needs him, right? Because this is so weird. There's an arrow pointing to a shark. Tsukasa definitely has the upper hand. However, Senku, because he knows the secret. So this is the problem with Senku. So far, he doesn't have the most. He doesn't have everything. All that Senku has is the very basic, right? So then, ultimately speaking, Tsukasa could be expected to do the same. So it's so basic. For example, with clay, Tsukasa could figure out how to do clay, right? But it wouldn't move. So in a world where Tsukasa is in charge, we can reach the Stone Age no problem. In a world where Senku is in charge, we can reach modern civilization, right? So then he lies. He's like, dude, there's not enough to fill up, right? And then Tsukasa like, dude, just tell me where to go. I'll take care of it. I'm the fastest, right? And this is crazy because on his way here, you see how truly terrible he is, right? So then Senku's like, okay, it's a trap. And he tells Taiju, like, look, we have enough water. We need to give it to her. We need to save her, and then we need to run away, right? And then Taiju was like, what the fuck, dude? The guy's a nice guy. He's like, no, it's not. I think it's a murderer. And on the way forward, we see him and his family. So there's a mom, there's a dad, and there's the two kids walking around. And you see Tsukasa smiling, so you think, okay, well, there's a family. He doesn't care, but he kills the two parents, right? And he wants the two kids to be there. The reason why he was smiling was because it reminded him and his sister, right? So what he does is he's like, okay, well, no matter, Taiju's like, what are you doing? And then Senku's like, okay, well, he's gonna find the cave no matter what, right? So what we can do here is we can get some time when we find the caves, and if we can do something, we can do something, right? And this is amazing because Senku tells he says like, dude, Tsukasa is a good guy, and then Taiju, this is sort of a great thing and a bad thing. He says, I don't need an explanation, right? If you say that he's a bad guy, I trust you. And this is kind of crazy because it makes Taiju fully dependent on Senku. I would have liked Taiju to be like, okay, well, please tell me, right? Because I am part of this association. But he didn't think about it. And then you just see how many Tsukasa has killed. And he tells them how there's a crazy world where a lot of people are going to die if Tsukasa is in there. And the coolest thing is, Taiju was just like, okay, well, this is a murder. It's not okay. And the goal of Dr. Stone is to ask the question, who is right? Tsukasa is right in saying that we can rebuild the world, can make it a better place. We can do without the corruption. It's a great thing. But Senku is right in the case of murder is murder. It's never okay, right? So then talk about why it is, right? To the deep sleep. Think about how, because us, we were using our brain a lot, our body was still awake, and because it was still awake, then, that's why we got up. Now we got the most beautiful moment, which is his girlfriend coming back, and she drops, and he saved her. And he's the one that saved her. And he's just like, dude, and she's like, oh, I can't believe that you woke me up. And this is only super fucking cool because she's like, I'm just glad that I'm here. And she doesn't need to know what happened. So another one that does feel like Senku is in charge. Now, I do like the character of Senku. However, I don't think that he should be the main myth, the man, the myth, the legend. He should be part of the story, but not the whole story itself, right? So plan A, now there's, so Tenju is like, okay, we'll do what we can, right? Either you two leave and run away, or we all fight together, right? And this is kind of crazy because they go in, nice. This is kind of crazy because, how can I put this? We established that this guy is strong. That the three of us die. And this is the crazy part because now that Tsukasa has a liquid, it can kill Senju, it can kill Taiju, can kill the girl Yuzuhara. It doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. So you got Taiju versus Tsukasa. So then he comes in, and Taiju's like, no, we're gonna fight together. And this is kind of cool because the girl's like, okay, well, I'm not sure what's going on, but I trust you guys, and I'm there to help. And the cool thing with the girl, with Yuzuhara, is that she is very helpful. If the guys or the brawn, I'm gonna say something gonna sound sexist. I hope you don't think I'm sexist, but she's the heart. She's the heart of it. She's like, okay, well, she's the kindness, right? And it's kind of crazy because she's gonna break the bro code. Not break the bro code, but imagine you're lost on an island with your best bro or your girlfriend. It's different. Tsukasa here, what he does is he basically tells Taiju, like, dude, he basically tells Taiju, like, dude, you know who's the better part, right? And this is amazing because right now, you see Tsukasa, who's completely destroying a stone statue. He comes in and he basically has a piece of a stone statue in his arm, and Taiju realizes, like, dude, this is a fucking murderer, right? And I have to stop you. Taiju isn't a fighter, so It'll take everything. Now, Sanju had a weapon with the crossbow, right? And is able to shoot the crossbow. However, Tsukasa blocked the hits. And this is amazing. This is amazing, right? Because Tsukasa is fighting with Taiju. And Taiju's like, dude, if you're pissed off, fight at me, right? And he's like, what are you offering me? He's like, okay, well, you don't have to hit this stone statue. Hit me instead, and you'll be able to do whatever you want, right? And he's like, dude, you're dumb. There's nothing to gain from this, right? And this is to prove that Tsukasa is sort of able to make, he's not against negotiation, right? So this is super bad because the girl being there, she could be made hostage. See, the problem with Sanju is he doesn't have a care in the world. He isn't, for example, the girl, if he's taken hostage, Taiji will be like, dude, this is fucking important. And Tsukasa know that they're best friend, right? So like, guess what? Senju does care about Taiju. And this is a problem. Taiju could have revived anybody else. Done the same thing as Taiju, because it's Taiju and this is his best friend. You have to protect him, right? And this is super cool. So then what he says is that, see, well, there's this fight now, and we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do, but we're gonna have to fight. And there's a way to fight against Kasa, and the way what we have to do is fight a gun, which is super cool because it talks about how recent the gun is, and he's like, bro, guess what? Let's fucking do it. So yeah, pretty interesting thing. Now what I'm gonna do is again we're gonna take a break because I want to do Dr. Song for like an hour and a half, right? But we did it for a while. So 0220. 225. We did it for 52 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a small break, watch a little bit of TV, go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom a lot. Oh, by the way, today, let's talk about the snack that we're having. Today for snacks, we're having Oreos, golden one, and we're having Cheetos jalapenos. Holy shit. Jalapenos. I know, not the healthiest thing, but fuck it. I'm gonna stretch a little bit, guys. Perfect. Nice. Good. Oh, just be relaxing a little bit. We haven't stopped, and then after that, we're gonna stop. We're gonna do um oh hell yeah. Okay. Again, we're not seeing the battles today, so I don't know what's up. I'm gonna uninstall TikTok, and I'm gonna reinstall it. Also, lately I've been feeling like I'm losing voice. There's a strain on my freaking vocal cord. TikTok. I don't know if there's gonna be battles today. If there is battles, I would like to watch them. And if there is battles, we're gonna be able to stream. Before I go, we still have been live for 3 hours. That's kind of good. That is kind of good. Good. Nice. Ugh. I went on my TikTok to somebody that was popping pimples. KPO. Yeah, Shoshai is there, but Max is not there. Can you guys believe that today is Thursday? Crazy. Crazy. What is it? Okay, so gonna be Max Boy. Bon. Bon.
Ben, vive comment, mon bois, moi, là, en n'étant pas en train de texter des mineurs, tabarnak de Chris, je suis
Non.
net, moi, esti. Hey, gros tabarnak de lettres, esti, man, tu vas-tu aller travailler, gros tas de merde, esti, tu vas quitter du monde? Ben, je vais quitter du monde. Caliste, t'as pas d'allure, grosse tapette, esti, Bobby Hill, la merde. T'as pas d'allure, esti.
Bobby Hill.
Moi, je suis le king, ici. Toi, là, t'as une grosse tapette, là, tu sens merde. Tu vas te laver, ici. Aide depuis ça tes culottes, gars, j'étais encore là. Oui, c'est trop dur pour moi de travailler, là. Je garde, t'es une grosse lâche, c'est tout. Sans marde, rien à faire. Non, mais Chris, là, moi, j'aime pas ça travailler, là. Moi, pas de pitié pour toi, là. Tu sais, là, ton gros qui, là, tu vas travailler. T'es, lève-toi, il va travailler, Chris. C'est gros tas de marde, c'est pas j'ai vu ce qu'il fera, tu peux pas travailler, les conditions, man. Moi, là, je suis un gros tas, là. Mais là, je suis pas peur des Joe Louis, gros tabarnak. Moi, là, tu penses que je travaille pas, moi, je travaillerais dans une garderie. Moi, je pense que ça serait mon genre aussi. Moi, là, je suis un bas, tu sais, là. Ben, vive comment, mon
Non.
Ça fait plaisir. Le gros, pour Starbucks tantôt, j'avais le